Hello. Okay, sorry if you guys are seeing a black screen. Don't worry, don't worry. We will have this. Okay, hold on, everyone. Don't worry, I'll put some music. I'll put some music. But hello. I hope you guys are having a good time here. Welcome to the day 3 of the Tengu Cup on 26th March. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll be doing the fourth and final round here of the round robin stage or the group stage. And of course, we will be doing 10 races today. Now with that said though, there's a lot of things we need to discuss before we start. Now, one thing's note, the first matchup of today is already secured as I've pinned earlier, but just to reiterate, the first race today will be Presacasa versus Ray versus Tetricus. And the second will be Roy Trigger versus Mia versus Torrent. The third race will be Rammer versus Rugugachu versus Valiona. The fourth one is Crazy Dave versus Akase versus Sip Ghetto. And the fifth one is Random versus Satanta versus Tunic. Now, there are gonna be a few things that are gonna be very important to discuss, as I mentioned earlier. As you can see here in the screen right now, there is a list of the current point system. In order to qualify for the next round, you would need at least a minimum of 14 or 15 points depending on how the round, how today goes in terms of results. For Mia, Ray, Tetricus, and Torrent, who are currently sitting in third place, for them to the chance of winning, qualifying is very easy. They just have to get 1 second place finish in any of these races and they're automatically qualified. For Presacasa and Roy, they already have enough points that they are automatically qualified into the top 9. Even if Roy goes third place in all of the races, he will still have a minimum of 15 points. For the 7th placers here, it's Rammer, Rugugachu, and Valiona, which will have a race later. Losing will not guarantee elimination. However, losing will mean that you have to win your next round or else you are out. For the second placer, you do just have to get another second place in the next round. And winning here almost guarantees, or basically guarantees, your spot in the top 9. For the 10th place teams, it doesn't mean you're eliminated just yet. There is still a chance. But in your guys' case, you have to win one race in order to guarantee yourselves into the slot, and then you need to get a second place. One third place finish, and you are out of the competition. For Sip Ghetto, who is currently sitting at 14th place, it is not mathematically impossible to qualify into the top 9 just yet. However, what needs to happen is that he needs to finish as first place in both 4th round and 5th round. With those out of the way, ladies and gentlemen, we shall begin the races shortly. I will note for today, the last day of substitutions, ladies and gentlemen. Rammer did decide, as I mentioned in the previous round yesterday, that he would substitute Narita Bryan for Manhattan Cafe. But today is the last day of substitution. There is no more substitutes allowed after this day. Thank you very much. Okay. So we will be doing the first, the upper bucket compared to last time because of how important it is. The qualification matches are gonna be very important. So we'll be doing the more stacked matches first, so that way the bottom teams will have more. I don't know. It'll be more interesting. Is the stream fine? I sure hope so. I think it is. Okay. Okay, ladies and gentlemen. So as mentioned earlier, the first race of the day will be Press Tsukasa versus Ray versus Agnes Digital. Okay, let us pull out the first match here, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, welcome to the first race here of the Tengu Cup 2026 March. Ladies, we will be having our first race today, and as usual, as again, I will state the race details here. This is a Tokyo Turf 2,300 meters medium, left-sided, rainy and soft turf. On our number one, on our first list here, it is Ogre Cap here for Tsukasa on the fourth paddock, number 4 paddock. And so far so good, one of the only Uma Musume to have a winning spree coming into this fourth round of races here, ladies and gentlemen. Ogre Cap showing up in a big way, winning back-to-back races in dominant fashion here. We will see if she's able to replicate this result, or will she burn out like in the first race here. We still have to be careful that sometimes a festive miracle really just doesn't pop. Upcoming next is Agnes Tachon here for Press Tsukasa, having a decent result in the first race, but however, so far in the recent races have not been able to perform, getting 7th place in the second round and 8th place in the third, hoping for a much cleaner placing here. Even if it's not a win, at the very least, something that's more respectable is the aim here of this Agnes Tachon. Upcoming next is Tsukasa's Narita Taishin here, the round 1 winner for Press Tsukasa's team, and as well as quite a solid Uma Musume overall, securing herself 2nd place twice in round 2 and 3, looking to keep this consistency up in the next matchup, as well as considered as the number 1 favorite by the game, it seems. On the number 7 paddock here is Simply Rudolph for Ray, with a solid result so far. She is looking to have a much more cleaner pathway here into this second round. So far, so hasn't really found individual success, but still 3rd place in the second round as well as 4th place in the third. Not exactly a result that you're really going to be doubting too much. Hey Headache, it's been a while. In the 8th paddock here, Ogre Cap for Tetrakis, the substitute coming in here from day 2. And ladies, in terms of results, she has shown up in quite a big way here, ladies and gentlemen, getting 2nd place in the round 2 results. However, getting a 6th place in the round 3. Not exactly the best result coming in here, but hopefully she's able to pick her stack up and get a good win here for the team for Tetrakis. Next up is King Halo here, the champion meeting veteran, and the 9th paddock here for Ray. Of course, just won his first race, I believe, in the round of second round, ladies and gentlemen, getting a 1st place finish in the second round. However, in the third round, didn't get as good of a success as he would have liked for getting a 3rd place. Still though, this Uma Musume is looking quite strong and hopefully looking to be a favorite among these Uma Musume. Up next is Agnes Sachin here for Tetrakis. Not exactly been the most successful in Tetra's team. With a finishing off, let me check, 6th place in the second round, as well as 2nd place in the third. So though good placing in the third round, hoping to keep that momentum up. Among the Agnes Sachions who have yet to win a single race here in this competition so far. And of course, the crowning glory of Tetrakis, the Agnes Digital, winner of the third round here, ladies and gentlemen, did get 4th place in the second round. However, he finally has blossomed into a strong Umumusme, taking a win among the sea of trainers here. But still though, yet to show up in a big way where he's considered as a heavy favorite in this competition. And I believe last but not least, Agnes Station here for Ray, yet again, who has yet to really show up as big as people hope for, getting a 2nd place in the last time, but get 8th place in round 2, as well as, if I check this correctly, 7th place in the third round. It's not been the most successful here for this Agnes Sachin. So we shall see here in the first round here, ladies and gentlemen, is Tsukasa versus Ray versus Tetrakis for the first round here of day 3 in round 4. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, of our 9 Umumusme here in the first race here. Number 1 favorite here is Naruto Taishin for Tsukasa. Number 2 favorite is our champions meeting veteran, Ray. Number 4 favorite according to the game is Ogrika. But of course, these numbers are not exactly the best indicator for who will win. So, let's see how this race will go. We did start here, not a lot of late starts, I believe. Things are going swimmingly for everyone. An immediate rushing gale for the Agnes Station at the start, and already we're seeing the Umumusme break apart here, ladies and gentlemen. First is the Agnes Digital at the very front of the Pace Chaser pack. Things are looking quite good so far, with a cluster here of Pace Chasers running as they enter the first corner. A lot of skills being proc instantly, but it looks like it is Agnes Station here in the 2nd place. 3rd is Ogrika. 4th is the original Ogrika from Tetrakis. 5th is Simply Rudolph, as well as more Agnes Stations coming into the push here as we reach the mid-race of here, ladies and gentlemen. So far, King Halo has good positioning here as the lone late surger, I believe. So far, so good here. We are waiting to see who will get their late spurt going. A lot of skills being procced so early into this race might be a bit of a problem. We shall see. We shall see. It's an Uma Square being procced here by one of the Agnes Stations. A lot of it's on. As hold on, we see Naruto Taishin positioning very at front here, ladies and gentlemen. As I think the Festive Miracle failed to proc here, ladies and gentlemen. It seems to be a race here for Naruto Taishin, but it is Agnes Digital looking to spurt so far. But hold on, this Ogre Cap is not backing down without her, even without her unique. But in the corner here, it is Naruto Taishin. Naruto Taishin here pushing, and the corner in is looking like a very close race. The Prideful King going to proc here for the King Halo. But is it gonna be enough to break through into the front? But no, it's Agnes Digital here. The Festive Miracle proccing at the very end of the race might make a difference in terms of the placement. Will not. Naruto Taishin will be the winner here of the first race. Congratulations here to Tsukasa for securing the first place here. Second place going to the Agnes Digital here for Tetrakis. And unfortunately here for Ray, I believe she secured himself a third place finish. Okay, congratulations here. We'll be moving on here with the results. Hold on, ladies and gentlemen. But yes, with this win here, ladies and gentlemen, with this second place finish here, I believe Tetrakis has secured his spot in the top 9. Congratulations to him for being able to get this qualification for his qualification here, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, so now I will be mentioning the placings here of these Umamusume here. First place goes to Naruto Taishin, second place goes to Christmas Augury Cup, third place goes to Agnes Digital, fourth place goes to King Halo, fifth place goes to Agnes Tachan from Sakasa, sixth place goes to Ray's Agnes Tachan, seventh place goes to Assembly Rudolph, eighth place goes to Tetrakis Agnes Tachan, and ninth place goes to Original Augury Cup from Tetrakis. I will be noting down these results for the next round as well, so please give me a moment. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, we'll be moving on into the second race. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we will be going into the next round here. It is Roy, Mia, and Torrent, ladies and gentlemen. It'll be quite a interesting matchup to see who will win here. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, here we are here. The first one here in the second race of Tengu Cup 2026 March, round 4 here. It will be Meisho Doto in the 6th paddock. And so far has not been the best here for the ace of Roy Trigger. Getting a 6th place in the second round as well as a 9th place in the third. Not exactly been the best performing member of this team, and honestly I feel like for Meisho Doto really just looking for a solid placing in this upcoming race. Well, we shall see, Here is the MVP herself, but not exactly the only winner of Roy Trigger's team. It is winning ticket for Roy Trigger, with a first place finish in round 2 as well as a very confident second place finish in round 3. it will be quite a hassle, quite a juggernaut to be able to deal with this winning ticket. Has been quite a bane in every Umusume's back so far. Next up is simply Rudolph here for Mia in the 8th paddock. And in terms of success, not exactly been the best. 9th place back to back in round 2 and 3. Looking to at least have a more respectable placement in this race, I believe. 9th here is Stamina Cross here for Torrent, the ace Uba Musume here. And I mean, not the ace of Musume. Yeah, actually, never mind. It is in fact the ace of Musume here for Torrent. Oh no, never mind. My apologies, not the ace, but it is definitely one of the good performing ones too. Hitting 4th place in the 2nd round was not exactly the best here for this Stamina Cross, and however, and getting a 5th place as well in the 3rd round. So really looking for a much better placement here after winning the 1st round, if I remember correctly. This so Torrent looking to bite back against the player Uma Musume here. Next up here is the Metro Ryan, the ace of Mia, the one and only. So far so good. Her performances have been quite magical here. Round 2 getting a 2nd place and a 3rd place here in round 3. Sure, maybe looking for the win here, but hopefully the results will not continue to trickle down after her win in the 1st round here, ladies and gentlemen. Not yet. Next up is Narita Bryan for Mia in the 2nd paddock. In terms of success, getting a 5th place here in round 2 as well as a 4th place have been very solid, but not exactly been a winner. Still, middle of the pack, not exactly the worst. Next up here is the winner of the 3rd round here for the for Roy Trigger. Nice nature. Not exactly expecting it despite her skills, but so far this evil nature has surged into the sky and secured her win here for Roy Trigger. Getting a 4th place in the 2nd round. Not exactly as good, but still a winner coming through into this next one. In the 3rd paddock, up next here is Hishi Amazon here for Tetrakis in the 4th paddock. Not exactly been the most successful Umusume for Tetrak. Hold on. My apologies here, ladies and gentlemen. It seems I have made a little mistake here. It is a different Hishi Amazon. I shall fix this real quick. Okay, I hope you guys don't mind. My apologies. I will be right back with all of you. So apologies for that. Yes, this is Torrent's Hishi Amazon now. Well, again, apologies, but we are all good there. We're all good. So far, so good here for Torrent. Not exactly been the best placements here for the Shishi Amazon, getting 9th place in that second round. And in the third round as well, one of the Umumusme here really has been struggling quite hard here. Next up, of course, is Taiki Shuttle for Torrent, the ace runner here for this Uma trainer, and the #1 placer and winner of the third round race for Torrent. So far so good, living up to her ace status, looking to keep up the pace here, ladies and gentlemen. Of course, we'll say hit to get a 6th place in the second round, so does have a bit of a chip in her shoulder. I believe that is everyone in this race here. Okay, so we shall begin. Again, apologies for the small delay. We shall now continue the race here, ladies and gentlemen. It's going to be quite an important race overall here for Torrent and Mia specifically. Maybe not a must win, but a 2nd place here will secure their spot in the playoffs. So we shall see what will be the final stretch here. One favorite is Roy Trigger's winning ticket. Number 2 is Torrent's Domino Cross. We shall see if that will be the key to winning here, the winning ticket. With eyes on such favorites: Major Ryan, winning ticket, nice nature, Taiki Shuttle here, all 3 with wins on the board. Even the Torrent's Domino Cross, very strong contenders. There's many winners overall here. So far so good here. It is Meisho Doto at the very front of this race, with Narita Bryan coming in at 2nd. 3rd place is Taiki Shuttle. 4th place is this I'm not sure actually. I think it is Simply Rudolph, who has passed straight into the 2nd place. At the back here is Major Ryan, then winning ticket, then Tamana Cross, Nice Nature, and Hishi Amazon. As now we enter into the mid race here, ladies and gentlemen. So far so good. Situation's not exactly changing. However, look at that winning ticket and Major Ryan, 2 late surgers looking to eye out a win for their trainers in such a competitive race. This one will be. So right now, things are about to enter into the second corner, the second and last. So you enter into the late spurt of everyone who will begin their march towards victory. Seems like someone at the back is moving first here, and I'm not too sure who it'll be, but oh, here we go. Narita Bryan at the very front so far. It is Narita Bryan here, but hold on. Look at the back line here. It is winning ticket here for Roy Trigger. Winning ticket with the push, the rushing gale coming through, but it is still a very close match here. Who will take the victory? Winning ticket seems to have secured it. Oh, but Nice Nature snatches victory instantly in a blink of an eye. What a win here for Nice Nature. Congratulations. It is Roy Trigger yet again to take the victory here, and all aces falter in the hands here of Nice Nature, but Roy Trigger securing another 1st place among the crowd. 2nd place going to winning ticket. 3rd place goes to Simply Rudolph, which will secure Mia's place in the top 9. Congratulations to Mia. 4th place goes to Tamana Cross. 5th place goes to Narita Bryan. 6th place goes to Mia. 7th place goes to Taiki Shuttle. Sorry, 6th place goes to Major Ryan. 8th place goes to Meisho Doto. And 9th place goes to Hishi Ama. Congratulations again for to Mia for securing her slot here in the top 9. So I will be recording the results here, ladies and gentlemen. Don't mind me. Okay. Upcoming next here, ladies and gentlemen, this will be a very important match here. Ladies and gentlemen, here come Manhattan Cafe finally arriving here for Rammer. But yeah, with that said, guys, ladies and gentlemen, this is going to be quite a very important round here for Rammer, Rugugachu, and Veliona. A loss here will mean that they are required to win the next race in the next round. A win will secure their spot in the playoffs, and a second place will tie them up together with the 12 points. So not exactly the worst situations to be in, but still, you would really want to get the win here. But Rammer, one of the favorites in this race, have yet to really kind of slow down coming into this competition. It's not been the best. We'll see here, Manhattan Cafe for Rammer has yet to show up, but here she is now with a 1100 speed and 1000 power here, as well as close to 1000 stamina, looking to be a heavy favorite in this race. But not a lot of stamina, not a lot of width. So will be something to keep in mind with wet conditions. It's on POC and breath of fresh air here, as well as slate surgery corners. Musume really is looking to gun her way down into the front lines in the late portion of this race. Next up here is Mejiro Dober here for Veliona. Actually was able to secure her the win for Veliona in this second apologies. Not been the most successful, actually, I should say. Getting a 5th place in the second round, as well as a 2nd place here on the 3rd round. It has been quite shaky for this Veliona's Mejiro Dober. Looking for redemption, comes in, but quite against very heavy competition. It will be quite hard to see, but of course, nothing is ever guaranteed. Up next here is TM Opera O here from Rugugachu's camp. And this ace has been quite spectacular, getting 3rd place here in the 2nd round, as well as a solid, well, not solid actually, getting a 6th place in the 3rd round. The rest of Rugugachu's team overall looking for redemption after that 3rd place finish in the previous round. And up next is Seiyan Sky getting 2nd place in the 2nd round, as well as a very solid 4th place in the 3rd round here. This Seiyan Sky has been quite interesting to see, considering the fact she is a pace runner instead of a front runner. Of course, we'll see if she's able to keep up with the crowd here, ladies and gentlemen. Up next is Admire Vega, Rammer's one and only champion, who won in the 1st round here. In round 2, found herself a solid result, I believe. Yeah, 3rd place here, but in that 3rd round, second round, getting 3rd place. In that 3rd round, however, really has been quite a struggle for Rammer, getting 6th place, not able to get that final spurt. So Admire Vega gotta try her best this time, see if the crowd is able to get her through the lines, not get blocked. Next up is Simply Rudolph from Veliona here, the champion of this team. Was able to secure the win here in the 2nd round. However, in that 3rd round, with a 8th place, not exactly the most favorable here, ladies and gents. Next up is Ogrika from Rugugachu with an 8th place finish in the 2nd round, as well as a 7th place finish. It has not been good for this Ogrika, who people honestly may have expected a bit more from, but still may have a fighting chance soon enough if given the opportunity. But when it comes to Rugugachu, There is one person to keep in track. It is the one champion in this team. It is the Agnes Digital, getting first place in the second round here. However, in the third round, it didn't exactly have the best of places, getting 5th place. So this Agnes Digital, if she gets a chance to spurt, this will be quite a monster in the field. But if not, light surger problems will arise shortly. And of course, the evil wonder from Rammer. No need to speak about her placement. We already know how deep of her score. So, ladies and gentlemen, we shall begin the race in one of the most important races coming through here. A battle between 7th placers. Again, I must remind all of you, a win will secure their spot into the playoffs. A second place will have a pretty solid shot at qualifying by just needing one more second place finish in the next round. But a loss here will need a win to qualify into the next round. Number 3 favorite here is Admire Vega. Number 2 is Agnes Tachan from Pikachu, and number 3 is Manhattan Cafe. Valiona not exactly favored to get any good placements here, but really just looking for that second place is enough among monsters. Will the tsunami let them pass through? So far so good. It is TM Opera O in the very front of this race, but Ogre Cap overtaking her own teammate at the front here to position herself in that first place. What a big lead starting off as we hit the first corner. Of course, though, things are not always so guaranteed. When it comes to positioning, things can really change very drastically. People can fall down. As we see here, TM Opera O getting herself a good distance between Seiyon Sky and her, but oh my god, this Digiton is walking all the way into the front, already at 4th place, but gonna fall down to earth. Still though, that is quite a strong positioning. Same with this Admire Vega. These late and end placers are really moving up into the count here as we reach the mid race here. It is a battle between Manhattan Cafe and Digiton to get the positioning. Here comes Manhattan Cafe. The chasing after you here. As now Manhattan Cafe already looking very strong coming in here. In the 3rd place, now this late surger, this will be quite a problematic situation for Rugu Gachu as she continues to pass for more and more Uma Musume as we now hit the last corner. But here comes Mejiro Dober with the moving pass and beyond to fight as well among these aces. Here she comes here from the back, but I'm not sure if it's gonna be enough. Doesn't seem like it, as now we enter the last spurt here. It is Manhattan Cafe looking poised to take a very clean victory. With a barcarolle of blessings now, this new year, TM Opera O to try and chase forth. But is it gonna be enough? Contesting very hard here with Admire Vega. She is able to pass through. It is TM Opera O, or is it Admire Vega in the second place? It is not. It is Agnes Digital with a first place finish here. Congratulations to Rammer for securing his spot at the playoffs. For Rugu Gachu getting a second place will put herself in a much more favorable position. For Veliona, trapped in the cage of lions here. As we now see the results. First place to Manhattan Cafe, second place to Agnes Digital, third place to TM Opera O, fourth place to Admire Vega, 5th place to Augury Cap, 6th place to Mejiro Dober, 7th place to Simply Rudolph, 8th place to Grass Wonder, and 9th place to Seiyon Sky. Congratulations to Rammer for securing his spot in the playoffs. Ladies and gentlemen, We shall continue soon with the next race. However, I feel like there seems to be a bit of complication, so I will try to manage through that soon enough. Okay, ladies and gentlemen. It seems I'm not sure why, but they deleted the race list I made last time, so apologies everyone, but please give me a moment as I prepare the last two races. I hope you guys don't mind. Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back into Uma Musume. We are now in this next race here, ladies and gentlemen, and this is gonna be one of those must-win races for certain here, as it is a match between the bottom table teams, Crazy Dave versus Hakase versus Sip Ghetto. Ladies and gentlemen, let me reiterate the position that these actually no, I will say it later. First up here is Special Week from Crazy Dave. She has been a star in the show for Crazy Dave's team, has been single-handedly carrying them so far, but getting 3 third place finishes. Unfortunately, despite her efforts, have not been enough to push this team into the playoff situation. We're looking for a much stronger finish among this crowd here in round 4. But of course, I will consider her as probably the main favorite in this race. Next up here is Special Week from Hakase, who has not as good of a stellar result so far, despite the win of Hakase in round 3 here. So she has recorded herself a result of 9th place in the second round, as well as a 7th place in the third round here, ladies and gentlemen. So Special Week 3 just looking for a more cleaner placing in this race. Next up is Agnes Tachin here from Sip Ghetto. Sip not exactly been able to convert much of an advantage in these races, so I'm getting a 6th place here for the ace here of Sip's Ghetto, as well as a 9th place in the recent races. Not been the most successful, so trying to see if they can complete this reverse sweep basically of first places. Next up is Crazy Dave's Tokai Teiyo. who has been a okay-ish performer, getting 8th place in the second round, as well as a pretty bad 7th placing. It's not been the best. If I remember correctly, he got 5th place as well in the first race. So really, the two teammates here of this special week really needs to step up. Speaking of Tokai Teo, however, coming up here for Sip Ghetto, it is a 3rd placer from the second round, which really got Sip Ghetto into this more advantageous position, as well as a 8th place finish for Sip Ghetto in the 3rd round here. For this Tokai Teo, again, really just looking for a single chance to make it through, perhaps get a miracle going. Next up is Taman Across here for Hakase, the winner of the third round here, who was able to get herself 1st place. Hakase's MVP and ace. Did get 7th place in the second round, however, with a lot of momentum in her hands, looking to see if she can be that spark in this race that will get Hakase across the line. Speaking of spark, Kitasan Black, who has been a solid performer in the team here for Hakase in terms of at least where he is currently standing, with a 5th place in the second round and a 5th place in the 3rd round. Such consistency can be quite valuable. Coming next, not 5th place, at 2nd place in the 3rd round actually. She is going to be an extremely valuable member in this team to see who can claim that 1st place in this very important 4th race of the day. Next up is Agnes Tachin here for Agnes Tachin here for Crazy Dave, with a placing here of 7th in the second round, as well as a 6th place. Not been the best here for this Agnes Tachin. Looking for a much stronger position here. So far, it has been a story of carries for this special week for this Stamina Cross. Last but not least, the Mayano Top Gun for Adam Sip Ghetto, who had a 4th place finish in the second round, ladies and gentlemen, as well as a very sad 7th placer here. So not exactly the best, but certainly not the worst. So now we will start this very important round, ladies and gentlemen. As we present these Uba Musume, I shall relay to you the importance of this match yet once again. 1st place will get themselves a much more better chance at placing here. 2nd place will mean that they are required to win the upcoming round, and a last place will signal elimination, ladies and gentlemen. For Sip Ghetto, it is a necessity for him to win every race coming into the 4th and 5th round. Getting a 2nd place here would spell elimination as well. So it is a must win here for all 3 of these Uma Musume teams, basically. As now we shall proceed. The paddocks open. So far so good. 3rd position. Now we will see the Uma Musume split apart from each other, as Mayano Top Gun easily takes in the 1st place as the front runner of the crowd, but the lead has not been that big really, compared to even what I've seen from the Pace Chasers from the previous race. As they continue to push here in this first corner, a few debuffs running through, but recovery skills picking up here for this special week, who has taken the 2nd place position. Sip Ghetto's Agnes Tachin gets 3rd. Special week from Hakase is 4th place, but can slowly get overtaken by Tokai Teo, as this load Taman Across at the very back here, sitting as he has to catch up very soon. The crowd is looking to fall back slightly here as we hit the mid-race. This special week is very poised to get through this in a very strong position as the Mayano Top Gun slowly falls down. Here comes the Uma Squared here from Adam Ghetto, looking to push for this position, but special week special week, now taking first place here. It is second place here for the Agnes Station. Tokai Teo and third, but Kitasan Black in fourth, overtaking this Tokai Mayano Top Gun. It is a battle between Adam Ghetto and this Kitasan Black on a special week here actually. It is Crazy Dave now pushing through. But here comes the White Lightning coming through from the Stamina Cross. Will she make a difference? She is barreling into the front here, getting her spot in the second place. But can she chase this special week? It is actually, she is gaining a lot of speed here, but I don't think it will be enough. It is Crazy Dave to secure first place here. Takase will secure second place. And a Tokai Teo passes by. Sip Ghetto, unfortunately, getting third place in this race and will spell elimination for this trainer. But congratulations to this to Crazy Dave as he secures himself yet another win here in the round of Robin. Which will push him into a much more comfortable spot here compared to Hakase. But once again, ladies and gentlemen, elimination for Sip Ghetto, unfortunately not able to make a dent in this upcoming round as we bid farewell to our 14th placer team. Of course, it's still possible for him to get a much better result, but chances are very slim at this point. Ladies and gentlemen, I will be preparing the next race, so please sit tightly. I will be back. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back into our next round here. It is going to be quite an interesting one, as again, this is one of those very important races, as we will be up. It will be between, random name, Satanta, and Tunic here. Tunic already eliminated out of the cup, but still here to see if she can play spoiler here, ladies and gentlemen, as we have the last race of the last round here. In the first one here, it is the Rice Shower here for random name, as he got second place here in round 2 and a 4th place in round 3. So far has been quite a performer as the ace here for random, looking for a much stronger finish here, looking for a win to stand up against Satanta. Not exactly the favorite, but with all things considered, Satanta, who has been regarded, or honestly expected to be more in the middle ground, has kind of fallen into this bit where qualification is not that guaranteed anymore. And with random's Rice Shower looking to make a statement here in a big path into the upcoming round. Here we have Smart Falcon here for Tunic, who got 7th place in the second round and a 4th place in the third. Didn't really have a bad placing against Satanta. As I said, spoilers can happen if given the chance, and this Smart Falcon might be able to say something in this race. Next up here is Stamina Cross here from Random, who substituted in day 2. And so far, her success has been quite good, with 4th place in the second round, as well as a finish, let me check, as well as the 3rd place finish here. So far, this Stamina Cross has shown up in a big way in this cup. Next up is the ace here for Satanta, Biwa Hayahide, specifically Christmas Biwa Hayahide, with a 7th place finish in round 2 as well as a 3rd place finish. Success has been shown into Biwa, but not exactly enough to win so far. Satanta really looking for that first win here, ladies and gentlemen. Next up is Metro Ardan here for Random, who hasn't exactly had the most success, getting 6th place in the second round and a 5th place in the third round. Has been kind of in the middle of the table when it comes to these races, but still, she does have the capability if she can just get that going. Next up is King Halo here for Satanta, and I will say, not been the most brightest spot in this team, getting 9th place in the second round as well as the 6th place in the third. This Space Chaser has not been able to chase anything besides a bronze medal, looking to see if things will change in this round. We have the Haruura, our greatest daughter. Don't need to say anything, we already know. Next up is the ace here for Tunic, the Ogre Cap, who has not really been finding any success either, getting 8th place in the second and third round. Has just not shown up at all. Next up is Narita Brian here for Satanta, who has had good placings so far, getting 5th place in the second round as well as a solid 2nd place in the third. She does have the capability to push for an advantage and push for a win here. So when it comes to Random's opponent here, Narita Brian really is the one you should be eyeing out for. As ladies and gentlemen, we have described, we've shown all of our Umumusume. It is our time to shine. Once again, I will relay the scenarios that are important in this race as we see our Umumusume ready themselves into the paddock. For Tunic, he has been eliminated from the competition, but he is able to play spoiler at the very least. Satanta and Random, this is a must-win race. Both Umumusume trainers have yet to pick up a win here in this cup, and this might be their best chance here. A win would put them in a very comfortable position to qualify into the next round, but a loss here would mean a requirement for them to win their next upcoming race to qualify into the top 9. As now, ladies and gentlemen, we shall begin. Keep an eye out for Rice Shower Biwa Hayahide and this Naruto Brian, as well as the Tamana Cross. Even this Smart Falcon from Tunic plays such a big spoiler here, ladies and gentlemen. So far so good. Rushing Gale being prompted immediately by this Shy Shower, not exactly the best thing to see. As we head on into the first corner here, it is our battle, a duel between Rai Shower and Biwa Hayahide as they come into the front, but you continue to see this Rai Shower will push him through. Third place with Biwa Hayahide. Fourth is this Naruto Brian. Fifth is Mejuro Ardan. And fifth is King Halo with the Tamana Cross Ogre Cap and I think Tamana yeah, and as well as the Haruura at the very back. So far so good here, ladies and gentlemen. So we reach into the mid race, no deviations coming through. There is a bit of a duel here. I believe this King Halo is slowly creeping up into the back line as Biwa Hayahide has overtaken the Rai Shower in the positioning. This could be quite an advantage coming into this late spurt, ladies and gentlemen, but we shall see. So now we enter the second corner into the last spurt. Who will take the win here? Get a bit of a deep off here. Biwa Hayahide at the front. Biwa Hayahide pushing for the race here. This Smart Falcon is still at the front. This might be a very dangerous situation here. They need to overtake this Smart Falcon, and Smart Falcon has been overtaken. It is Mejuro Ardan. Mejuro Ardan looking to pass here. It is the Tamana Cross as well. Tamana Cross and Mejuro Ardan who will take the victory. Tamana Cross will secure it for Random. And congratulations here for Random, finally securing his first win in this Tengu Cup against Setanta. Setanta so close yet so far here with the Biwa Hayahide. Not able to push the advantage further. And that is it here for the rest of them. Setanta now in a very deadly situation, but Random sitting in a more better position. Unfortunately for Tunic, getting yet another dead last placing. It means he will only have 4 points. Ladies and gentlemen, so now we shall be preparing for the upcoming race here, ladies and gentlemen. The last round here, most important for these other trainers. For now, I will be taking all these results and be preparing for the upcoming race. So, ladies and gentlemen, please sit back as I prepare the next round. As I prepare for myself for the next round.
けた時こそがチャンスさ孤独な夜に耐えながら掴めビクトリー闇に迷っても静かに朝日が導くだろう灰色の雲突き抜け青空高く飛び立て希望という翼広げてその勇気を奮い立たせ愛を守り抜け諦めず生きるため強くあれ強くなれヒーローになれ運命のプレリュード偶然という奇跡の中で君だけを見つめて君だけを信じていつまでも君を愛し続けよう思い通りにならなくても自分らしくあれ明日を生きるため星空に手を伸ばせばカシオペアさえ持つ 強く笑ってる Baby Take me higher きっとたどり着けるさガラティア Take me Take me higher 熱い鼓動を信じて争い事もない明日を探してる誰もが待ち望んでる僕らができることを続けてゆくよ優しくなれればいい絶やさずいたい笑ってる Baby Take me higher 全て動き始めたガラティア Take me Take me higher 道を切り開いてゆく笑ってる Baby Take me higher 立ち止まってられないガラティア Take me Take me higher 光る瞳を信じていつかは届くきっと僕らの声が世界を変えてゆける時代を超えて笑ってる Baby Take me higher 愛を抱きしめて今ガラティア Take me Take me higher 勇気抱きしめて強く笑ってる Baby Take me higher きっとたどり着けるさガラティア Take me Take me higher 熱い鼓動を信じてご唱和ください我の名をウルトラマンゼ一番大事なもの一体なんだいこの命と引き換えにでも守ってやるぜ誰のためにこの力はあるんだい本当の優しさの意味を探してる退屈も手余してはびこるエイリアン刺激求めて蘇る巨大モンスター平和を生み出す奴らは許さないハリア我の名を叫べこの星を守りたいその笑顔が 指して牙を向く Yes 最強の力を手に入れた者はどこへ向かい誰と戦うのを教えて二人の力合わせその先へ進め敵か味方か揺れ動く君はどっちだこの戦いを終わらすためには黒いがウルトラの力また腰が泣いてる優しさは力共に戦え未来へつなげ熱く激しくウルトラマン Z
Everyone, welcome back. Apologies for the wait. It took a while for me to do the seeding here for this cup, for this race. It's who are still around. I'm sorry for the wait. I hope you guys are all like chilling over there. Can we get a raise of hands over here? Either way, we shall be continuing our last round here for the Umamusume Tengu Cup 2026 March. Ladies and gentlemen, round 5. This should be quite interesting. The seeding has been completed. Try my best to make it as fair as possible for everyone. So I do hope you guys understand. There will be a few rematches, but that's gonna be how it is. Okay, so for the first race here, ladies and gentlemen, it will be Prescasa versus Random versus Tunic here. Next up is Roy versus Ru versus Sip Ghetto. Next up is Mia versus Ray versus Hakase. Then it is Rammer versus Crazy Dave versus Satanta. Last but not least, it is Tetra versus Torrent versus Veliona. Now before that, we shall go into the rule set for the current situation for everyone here. Ladies and gentlemen, as you can see here, the chances of qualification are very, very high. Well, that's in terms of this possible scenarios here. So for when it comes to the chances here, ladies and gentlemen, is this updated? Yes, I believe so. Hold on. I will update this percentage real quick. Yeah, I'll be back, everyone. Okay, guys, screw that stuff. Basically, so let's discuss what the current scenario is for the qualification here. Ladies and gentlemen, if you are a member of the top 6 here, which is Ray, Torrent, Rugachu, Crazy Dave, and Random, you only need to get a score of, I think, if I understand correctly, you only need to secure a score of top 3 to at the very least guarantee yourself a chance at a tiebreaker or at automatically qualifying, I would assume. If you are part of the 11th tied players here, Hakase, Satanta, and Veliona, you must win in order to tie up with everyone in the upper bracket here. So qualification is not guaranteed as I've expected, but it is going to be a lot easier here if you have higher points. So chances are not slim, but they are... Now, chances are slim, but they are still possible. So, ladies and gentlemen, with that out of the way, let us do our first match of the day here. First match of round 5, which will be Prestacasa, Random, and Tunic in this first one, ladies and gentlemen. So remember, for anyone who is currently 12 points, you just need to get a second place to get through into a position where you can tie up with everyone. So let's begin here, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back. It is me, Sakasa. I'll be commentator as usual. Sorry for the wait. But here we are here, ladies and gentlemen. It is going to be the first one here in the second paddock here for this first race of the round 5 here of the Tengu Cup 2026 March. It is Christmas Augury Cup here for Sakasa. Unfortunately did not get the win in the previous race, but despite the fact that Festive Miracle did not proc in this race, she was able to secure herself a second place finish. So quite a strong Umumusumi indeed, this without her unique, but with her unique has proven herself to be quite dominant so far. So looking to eye out to see if she is going to be able to replicate her success in round 2 and 3. Next here is Random Stamina Cross with a placing of, if I understand this correctly, apologies. Now with Stamina Cross, who was able to secure the win in round 4 against his opponents here, to put himself in a good situation here. With that said though, for Random, again, he just needs to get a second place finish in order to tie up and guarantee at least a tiebreaker for himself. Next up here is Mejuro Ardan, who actually had a pretty strong second place finish in the second round of races. The fourth round of races. So finally able to show her class in a big way here for Random. Next up here is Augury Cap here for Tunic. Continues not be able to perform, still finishing at 8th place in the previous round. Tunic eliminated already with 4 points, but still looking for at least a bit more success. Next up here is Agnes Nachian from Prestacasa, who had a finish of 5th place in the previous round. Didn't exactly have the best of successes, but still looking for a much better, at least had a much better placing than recent. Next up here is Naruto Taishin, who was able to win the race of the fourth round here for Prestacasa, a 2-time winner. Coming up here, ladies and gentlemen, so looking to see if she can win it once again, or will it be Augury. Next up here is Rice Shower, who had a very powerful second round, but unfortunately in the recent race didn't exactly have the best of races, only finishing 5th among the crowd. Let's see if she's able to at least have a stronger showing in this upcoming race here. Next up is Haruora. Do we even need to discuss anything? That is her daughter. Next up is Smart Falcon, who actually had a pretty decent performance, coming in at a solid 6th place, I believe. Yes, 6th place here, ladies and gentlemen. It will be a match again. So we'll see if Smart Falcon is able to display a much more stronger finish. She did have a massive lead last time and was able to carry it for a while. So ladies and gentlemen, let us see who will win now as we go on to the next round. I mean the first race here, ladies and gentlemen, apologies. As I repeat the current scenario here for the 3 racers here. Tunic is already eliminated. Tsukasa has qualified himself already into the top 9. And for Random, he has a pretty good chance of getting 2nd place here. I don't think that there will be any trouble really here unless Smart Falcon's Tunic Smart Falcon is able to get a very miraculous run in this race. So we shall get an eye on to see if any of his Omusme are able to stand up in against Tsukasa's round of 3 here. For number 1, 2, and 3 as the favorites according to the game. So far in terms of success, the only trainer here to have 5 wins in a row. Going to continue his run, but it's not a good start here. Late start here for this Augury Cap. But still, we can push through here. So far so good. Smart Falcon to push into the next one. So we now continue into the push. The first corner here, a little skills being procced here. So far so good. Smart Falcon at the very front here is Agnes Tachion in the 2nd place. 3rd place is Christmas Augury. 4th place is Mejuro Ardan. 5th place is Rai Shower here as we continue to push into this club. As we hit the mid race here, ladies and gentlemen, we are now barreling down. Sparkly Stardom being procced by this Smart Falcon, but Agnes Tachion fighting into the front here to contest for this 1st place position, and she will overtake this Smart Falcon, ladies and gentlemen. As now we hit the last corner, we shall see if this Festive Miracle will proc. Yes, it will. And we're gonna witness it once again here, ladies and gentlemen. The Christmas Augury Festive Miracle to push it through into this final race. As she will begin her triumphant pulse into the finish line. Eyeing out into the rest of the crowd, we are still seeing some struggles here. Mejuro Ardan picking up the pace, trying to get over this Smart Falcon once again. And I believe she has passed it. But 3 Omomusume from Tsukasa showing dominance here in this race. Mejuro Ardan trying to keep up with the crowd. That is not enough here. It is C. Augury to finalize Tsukasa's undefeated spot here, ladies and gentlemen. Congratulations. When it comes to Random though, we'll get 3 points at the very least. Gets a safe haven here in this first race, ladies and gentlemen. So we now go into our result list. First place here is C. Augury. Next up is Naruto Taishin. 3rd is Agnes Tachion. 4th is Mejuro Ardan. 5th is Tamina Cross. 6th is Rai Shower. 7th is Smart Falcon. 8th is Augury Cap. And 9th is Haru Urarao. I'll update the scores. Into the next race, ladies and gentlemen.
今回ウィナーズサークルを踏みしめるのは誰か。
Next up here will be Roy versus Rugu Gachu versus Sip Ghetto. I believe these two have yet to meet here, so this will be actually a first matchup here for Rugu Gachu and Roy. Going to be quite an interesting one upcoming here. First up here is Meisho Doto, who didn't exactly continuing to really not really disappoint in this race, getting 8th place in that round 4 race. So Doto really see if she's able to strike a much more better placing here. My hope is not really that high. Next up here is DM Opera O here for Rugu Gachu, who was able to place a solid 3rd place in that round 4 against Rammer. So hoping for a stronger finish here, ladies and gentlemen. Next up here is Ogricap here from Rugu Gachu, who had a finish of 5th place, just behind Admire Vega in the 4th round. She's able to show her class in this race for once. Next up here is Tokay Teo from Adam Ghetto, who was unfortunately didn't exactly have the best of finishes here. Was able to finish a scoreline of dead last in that last round. So you'll see if she's able to overcome at the very least 9th place. Next up here is Mia's Simbali. Hold on, ladies and gentlemen, it seems that I have misplaced that Uma Musume here. Apologies for that. I'm going to fix this up real quick. Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back here. We are finally back. This race, apologies for that. We will push through here until we see our next Umusme. As a Umusme, we are actually supposed to see his nice nature here from Roy Trigger. Nice nature. Had a very strong performance so far in this club, getting a win for herself in that 3rd round. Now with a finish as well, a 2-time winner in this cup. As wins, finds a win in that 4th round as well. Next up here is Winning Ticket, who is a champion of her own and a 2-time back-to-back 2nd placer. Looking strong and looking powerful, as 2 late surges here from the side here of Roy Trigger has been menaces in this race, which has really settled himself in that 2nd place comfortably. Next up here is Adam Ghetto's Agnes Tachyon. It's not really been much of a competitor so far. but was able to get a top 4 finish in his previous race. Pretty solid one so far. Next up here is Mayano Top Gun, who had a finish here of 6th place in the 4th round. Looking for a similar success here, ladies and gentlemen. So we now get into Agnes Digital here for Rugu Gachu, the one and only strong Agnes Digital, able to finish a strong 2nd place against Rammer's Umamusume. Zelda has not found a win in a while. It's gonna have to look for one in this race here. Not exactly required, but a win would guarantee a playoff spot, as I will discuss shortly here. So that should be it, ladies and gentlemen. We shall begin our first race of the day. It is the 2nd race, of course. Let's discuss the scenarios here for Rugu Gachu, as I mentioned. You must get at least a 2nd place in this one to get yourself over the board. Will secure at least a tiebreaker match. When it comes to a final automatic qualification, a win would guarantee a slot here in the top 9. Of course, against Roy Trigger, 2nd placer in this whole race, only have lost once in the 1st round here against Tsukasa. Has secured 3 wins in a row and looking for a 3rd here, with sitting in 18 points. So we begin. No late starts across the board. It is a perfect start here for Umamusume. Congratulate. Very nice here, but the rush Madam Ghetto's Agnes Takyong will at least secure that sort of thing. So far so good here in the first corner, as a bunch of Umamusume gets shoved back in. Seems like the late surgers of not late surgers, seems to be a fall off here from the Agnes Takion, which forced the Oguri Rap and the Tokai Teo to the back here. So far though, Mayano Top Gun at the very front. 2nd place is Rugu Gachu with his Opera O. Next is Meisho Doto. Next then it is it's Oguri Cap with Agnes Takion here from Sip, pushing through here. Teo as well, trying to contest this winning ticket at the back door as we hit the mid-race, starting to build up that position. This could be a very, very deadly situation here for Rugu Gachu if this Agnes Digital is not able to get through into the front. She's slowly building it up here. 1st place now on Opera O as she leads the charge here in the very front with a pretty sizable lead, a length of 2, I believe. As we now hit the final corner, who will get this last push? POC finally proccing here for this Opera O. Hold on, it is not looking good here. As Meisho Doto finally contesting here on the number 1 spot, but Opera O really pushing it through. Winning ticket finally gets that spot. But here comes TM Opera O, the Barcarolle of blessings, to push this one over the edge. Will she be able to make a difference? Desperately trying here, but here comes Agnes Digital. It is a battle here for first. It is very competitive, but not able to push it through. Winning ticket will secure the win here for Roy as he secures his 4th win in a row. Rugu Gachudo putting one hell of a fight here with Opera O, with Agnes Digital, able to secure themselves very sorry placements. Doto really pushing it hard in that last one. Finally getting herself a good placement. So you now come into here. It is going to be 1st place here for winning ticket. 2nd place Agnes Digital. 3rd place is TM Opera O. 4th is Meisho Doto. 5th is Oguri Cap. 6th is Mayana Top Gun. 7th is Tokai Teo. 8th is Nice Nature. And 9th is Agnes Takion. Congratulations here for Roy for taking another win here, ladies and gentlemen. I will note here, at least, we will now enter the more deadly, most important races here, very close matches overall. So we shall see who will win these ones. Ladies and gentlemen, skip me a bit to record this. Alright, so now head into the next round here. It will be a match between Mia, Ray, and Hakase. I was mistaken. I think I thought I said that Armor's match was third race, but actually the fourth one. My apologies. Yeah, we will now head into the third race here, ladies and gentlemen. It is gonna be Rammer. No, Mia, Ray, and Hakase here must win race across the board for Ray and Hakase. Especially Hakase here really needs to secure this win. I'm not sure if it's gonna be possible. We shall see. We shall see here. This Stamina Cross is able to make some magic. So now head into it. Major Orion here for Mia has been a hero across in her races. Able to but unfortunately though, had a very poor result in that recent race, getting a scoreline of 6th place here. Yeah, 6th place in that previous round. Has not been the best here. It's the third race. It has not been the best here for this Major Orion. So let's see if she's able to finally get that spark back in this very important one. Well, I will say important, but yeah, of course a win here would guarantee a qualification. Top 3 I think will guarantee as well for Mia. Next up though is the champion meeting veteran himself, King Halo. Coming up here for Ray, who was able to have a decent finish here in the first one. Finishing at a placing of 4th, not exactly the one we have wished for. No, so wait, hold on, is this correct? Yes, it is. It is 4th place here for King Halo. That's not, again, ace here for Ray. Really needs to step it up in this next race here to at least get himself a chance at the top 9. Next up is Simply Rudolph here, who had a very poor 7th place coming into this race, in the 4th round. So now in this 5th here, really needs to lock in if he wants to get his team over the board. Next up here is special week here for Hakase. Not the most likely to win, I will say. I will say that straight up, but did have a pretty respectable 5th place finish in the recent round 4 race, so maybe perhaps she's able to make a dent. Speaking of, that's on Black. Despite her more successful finishes so far, she dropped down to 7th in that 4th race here. Really starting to fall off here. I'm not too sure if she's gonna be able to keep up in such a heavy-handed recap as well. But when it comes to Hakase though, Tamino Cross is definitely the one to look after. The one and only here, getting 2nd place in that race. Would have wished for 1st, but now gonna have to gun it against the strongest opponents, well, 2nd strongest opponents that Hakase is gonna have to face so far. Next up here is Race Agnes Takyon with a finisher of 6th place. Didn't exactly have the most successful run so far in this tournament. We have Nanarita Bryan here from Mia, who had a finish of 5th place in this 4th round of races, really, gentlemen. It's been pretty solid so far across the board. Last but not least, the Simply Rudolph here from Mia, who had a pretty respectable 3rd place when up against Roy. Now, looking as a strong member here of this team to try and put them over the edge here. Ladies and gentlemen, that is all the Umumusume here. It is going to be Mia, it is Ray, and Hakase matching up against each other once more. see who will make it into the top 8 here, if Ray can secure it, or will Hakase pull a miraculous win, or at least a miraculous win to get himself over to the top 9 finish. Maybe not the most likely outcome, but miracles are possible, ladies and gentlemen. So we shall see. Number 1 favorite here, Narita Bryan here for Mia. And the number 3, Simply Rudolph, which means the number 2, Mia across the board. It is Mia, Mia, Mia. It's in a 1, 2, and 3 favorite. So we open the paddock now. Yes, it is. Here we go. Late start here for the champion meeting silver medalist. So far so good though. As Kitasan Black pushes into the first position. A lot of skills being proc now as we hit the corner. A lot of recovery skills. As now we are about to cross the mid-race here. Kitasan Black at first, Agnes Station at second, third place, and I think contesting for second here is that Narita Bryan. Fourth place is Simply Rudolph. Fifth place, another Simply Rudolph here. I believe it's Mia's and Ray's. Then it is that special week, King Halo, Tamina Cross, and Major Ryan. Major Ryan at the very back here. The slates are just really positioning themselves at the very back here. The triple ace, I'll say. Yeah, my bad. It's actually the next race after this, not the third race. But yeah, so now we get to push into this, ladies and gentlemen. So now we almost enter into the last spurt here. More Umamusume are proccing their uniques. Victory cheer here for Kitasan Black as she continues to lead the front here, ladies and gentlemen. Coming across, falling down all the way at the back. Kitasan Black really have to pull a miracle here, but it is Ray, this Agnes Tachyon, really pushing aggressively against the Kitasan Black. But here comes the Let's Pump Some Iron. As now the Major Ryan barreling into the front, but oh no, something has stalled him. Something seems to have paused this opposition here, but it is a force to be reckoned with. This Agnes Tachyon here for Ray. Is anyone going to be able to contest it? The King Halo surely will try with the Prideful King. As we reach the end of this race, passing through everyone, it's not gonna be enough here. As I believe Agnes Tachyon will secure here. And this is it. Agnes Tachyon secures the first place here for Ray. What a astounding result. Didn't have much of a result, really have much of a showing in these first 4 races here for this Tachyon, but finally able to push it over the board. King Halo getting second place here. Me and this Major Ryan getting third, which means that Mia will get herself the third place here. Ray taking over in this one. Actually for Hakase, Kitasan Black not able to extend that lead. Very close, but very hard. In the end here, Hakase will be eliminated in this qualification chance, but still a very proud, I would say proud performance here from Kitasan Black at the end of the day. Like that, so now Narita Bryan gets 4th, Simply Rudolph gets 6th, Tamina Cross gets 7th. It is Anna Rudolph here for side of Ray, who got 8th, and Special Week gets 9th here. Congratulations to Ray for his win. So now we head into the next round here, ladies and gentlemen. It is Rammer, Crazy Dave, and Veliona. Honestly, quite a very interesting bracket to find himself here. Rammer finding himself against not as highly rated Umusume. Hold on. Is this the right one? There seems to be someone else here on most places. No, it is him. That's right. It is Setanta here. Rammer, Crazy Dave, and Setanta in this fourth race, ladies and gentlemen. So this is gonna be very, very interesting. I feel like in terms of power level, this really is the closest we're gonna get in these races here. So now we get into Manhattan Cafe, able to secure a win here for Rammer in this fourth cup, coming into the last race here. Next up is Admire Vega, who has been Rammer's strongest Musume before Manhattan Cafe, able to get herself a win. But so far, the recent races have just not been kind of the most successful here. Hopefully, able to get it across the board this time. Competing against her own teammate here, Manhattan Cafe. See if Ayabe is able to break through and push it for the win. Next up here is Crazy Dave's Agnes Tachyon, a 2-star Musume who has found herself in a very, very unfortunate situation, really. Getting 8th place in the previous round, really not able to keep up with the competition. Next up here is the ace, the hometown hero himself. Special week for Crazy Dave here, ladies and gentlemen. He has shown up in a big way, getting 3rd across the board and finally taking another win here for Crazy Dave. So individually, she has been one of the best performing Musume in this cup despite everything. Next up here is Naruto Brian here for Setanta, who had a very, let's see what success she's had. Solid run, getting 4th place in that previous corner here, ladies and gentlemen. Next up is Biwa Hayahide, who was able to get herself a 3rd place in the previous round. She has not been able to close out a win here for Setanta. Setanta is still looking for a win at the end of the day. Speaking of King Halo, getting 7th, really not the best placing at all. He has shown no success in this tournament so far. Next up is Tokai Teo here for Crazy Dave here, who has check here, got dead last here in the previous race. Really has shown no prowess so far here. We have Evil Nature coming out here from Grass Wonder from Rammer, who has been running a debuffer build, so no need to discuss that. Now we have here, it is Rammer, Crazy Dave, and Setanta coming up into this race. Let's see who shall win here. A win would be very important here for Crazy Dave after all, against Rammer here, who has finally struck a win once more after such faulty matches in the 2nd and 3rd round. Would guarantee himself he really would want to guarantee himself a good spot here with a win. Ladies and gentlemen, shall now prepare all our Musume in the pocket here. It is Crazy Dave's special week on the number 3. Yabe on number 2. Number 1 favorite here is the ace here for Rammer. This Manhattan Cafe coming in late, but better late than never, I suppose. So we push into this 4th round, fourth race of the 5th round here. Solid start so far, a few late starts, but things off over. Biwa Hayahide taking that 1st position so far in this group of pace chasers. So we now bleed into it. So far so good. A lot of exchanges here in positioning though as we enter the 1st corner. A lot of POCs and swinging maestros being proc here. And it's on early proc here by this special week. Good position so far by the Biwa Hayahide. As we now get into the mid race here. Biwa at 1st, 2nd place is I think Naruto Brian. 3rd here is Tokai Teo actually getting into a very solid position here in 2nd. 3rd place is now this King Halo. 4th place is this Naruto Brian. Then Special Week. Then Agnes Tachyon. Ayabe, Nice Nature, and Manhattan Cafe. Rammer's Musume are all the way at the back, but they surely will be spiraling down later on. Researchers Ayabe getting a lot of really strong positioning coming into this last spurt now as we hit the second corner. Ladies and gentlemen, the last spurt will begin soon. Ayabe looking strong here. So now, see here, the last spurt will not begin. Biwa Hayahide, will she begin this push into victory? I think she will, but Ayabe looking for something to say. Special week. Not intending to lose here. Third place would be very faulty here as now Manhattan Cafe. Manhattan Cafe. With the chasing after you, here comes our ace. As the run through comes through, it is Ayabe in first now. Special week looking to push for more. Really needs to get over this Biwa Hayahide. Will she be able to do it? I'm not too sure. It seems like it's not. But Tokai Teo finally getting success. Ayabe takes first. Tokai Teo able to take it over Biwa Hayahide. Ladies and gentlemen, a hero from nowhere here from the side of Crazy Dave, but a dominant win from Manhattan Cafe. Congratulations to Rammer. I mean, not Manhattan Cafe, from Ayabe. Manhattan Cafe showing a strong form as well, but Tokai Teo, what an amazing race here from Crazy Dave, getting it over the line here. So we now report our race here for the fourth race at Vega, getting that first place here. Manhattan Cafe in second, Tokai Teo in third, fourth goes to Special Week, fifth goes to Biwa Hayahide, sixth goes to Narita Brian, seventh goes to Grass Wonder, eighth goes to King Halo, and ninth goes to Tachyon here, ladies and gentlemen. As yeah, congratulations here to Rammer as he secures himself a very dominant win across the board. Unfortunately here though, because of this loss, Setanta will be eliminated from competition, will be joining Hakase in the unfortunate list of Uma Musume here, not able to break through here. So we now enter this last race here. It is going to be last race here of the last round, ladies and gentlemen. It will be Tetra versus Torrent versus Veliona coming here in this race. So we now enter it. Number one here, Tetra faces Agnes Digital in this fifth race here, ladies and gentlemen. She has been able to topple over at least able to finally topple over the Uma Musume here. Finally getting a win in the round 3, but up against DC Ogre was not able to clash heads with them. So though it is Digitan the favorite here, and the ace here for Tetrakis, an S-rank Uma Musume coming through, not being able to find the success that she could have wished for, but still been able to show a lot of prowess in this tournament. Next up here is Veliona Simply Rudolph, the one and only champion here. I mean the winner of round 3 here for Veliona. Or is it round 2? I think it's round 2. Let me check real quick. Yeah, it is round 2 here for Veliona. However, not been able to find much success here for Veliona in these races. Was able to finish a 7th place in the previous round, so really needs to improve in this upcoming competition here. Next up here is Agnes Tachyon for Tetrakis. As we check here, yes, Agnes Tachyon, another one that really didn't place much, 8th place in the previous round, so looking for a more competitive placing here. We've seen heroes rise up to the occasion now. Speaking of which, the ace here of Veliona, Mejiro Dober, didn't have the most success either, getting 6th place in the previous one. Next up here is Taiki Shuttle for Torrent, the ace here for Torrent, who was not been able to have good placing, getting a placement of 7th in the previous race. So there are a lot of Uma Musume here that has not found much success here. Hishi Amazon dead last in the previous round. Next up here is Tamara Cross here, who has actually had more better performance, getting 4th place again in that 4th round. Next up is Seiyun Sky here for Veliona, who had dead last in the 4th round as well. And we have Ogricap here for Tetra, who had a placement here of 5th place against the competition. So now, ladies and gentlemen, we shall begin our last race of the Tengu Cup 2026 March round robin. This is going to be quite an interesting race overall. Veliona a must win if he wishes to get over the line and join the tiebreaker matches. As for the rest of the Uma Musume here, Tetra basically guaranteed in the top tiebreaker matches already. Taiki, meanwhile, for Torrent, looking for at least a 2nd place to get himself over the over into the other side of the matches. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. A lot of green skills being procced here by our aces. Let's push it into first corner here. Agnes Tachyon taking 1st position here for the Pace Chaser pack here. 2nd place is Taeyun Sky. 3rd is Ogricab. 4th is Taiki Shuttle, and then the Agnes Digital here coming through. So far so good. The Pace Chasers kind of contesting with each other in terms of positioning as we hit into the mid race here. Taeyun Sky still cutting with the 2nd place here. Rush coming out from Dober just to get some more positioning. Actually able to build up a lot of positioning here. Hopefully though, not gonna burn out with that stamina. Gonna really need it. Slipstreams being procced for these ace Uma Musume. As Dober falls back down to hell. Nichitan now in a very strong position. Still, this Agnes Tachyon continuing to lead the pace here. As we now reach the final round, final corner of this round robin race. We'll see who will make it to the finish line. Taking a bit here as here comes the last spurt. It is Hishi Amazon to finally make a difference here perhaps. But now, shooting for victory comes through here from the Taiki Shuttle. As he now pushes into the 3rd place. The final sprint coming out here of the S-Rank Uma Musume wants to contest it as well. It is a strong duel here. And looks like Dober is not going to be able to contest this one in the end. It is a battle between the Taiki Shuttle and the Agnes Digital. But Taiki Shuttle looks to be the one to make a difference. And she will push this win across the board. Ladies and gentlemen, what a win here for Torrent. Able to stake down the upper echelon here, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes! I'm winner!
Congratulations here for Torrent. One hell of a race, indeed. One hell of a race here. It is Tetricus all across the board, but it is one Torrent, one Taigi Shuttle at the very top here in the end of the race. Now we list down the placements here. Torrent's Taiki Shuttle in number 1. Second place goes to Agnes Tachyon. Third place goes to Ogre Cap. Fourth place goes to Agnes Digital. Fifth place goes to Tamana Cross. Sixth place goes to Simbali Rudolph here for the side of Yona. Next up is Seiyun Sky. 8th place goes to Metro Dober, who was unfortunately blocked in that final spurt. 9th place is Hishi Amazon. Congratulations to these Obamasame. We shall now proceed with the tallying of points, ladies and gentlemen. Please give me a bit of time as I will now make the
出走馬娘に登録ですね。
finalize the
どのようなレース展開に
ladies and gentlemen. We shall now begin here the last race of the day. It is going to be a tiebreaker match here between Rugu Gachu, Crazy Dave, and random name here, ladies and gentlemen. Now let me discuss, I will discuss the conditions later on, but for now we shall head into this race. Let's begin with the discussions. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, okay, so number one here, it is going to be special week here for Crazy Dave. For once, didn't have the best performance in that previous race here in that 5th round. Really almost costed them the race, but thankfully Tokai Teo was able to step up in this upcoming race here, ladies and gentlemen. Next up here is Ogre Cap here for Rugu Gachu, who has had a very, I will say, has been a pretty okay-ish performer. Had a 5th place finish in the previous round and also had a very okay-ish performance. Again, 5th place in the previous one as well. Really have been in the middle of the pack so far. Rice Shower here, the ace here for Random, who has had a very middling performance in this next round. Hoping for a much better performance here, because really this is your last chance to make it through. And up against a very, very even matchup, I would say this is the closest race we will have this whole day. Next up here is Agnes Tachyon here for Agnes Tachyon here for Crazy Dave. Crazy Dave, Agnes Tachyon really has not shown much success, getting 9th place in that last round as well as 8th place. Not much to expect here, but Tokai Teo, the hero of the night, able to secure their team a 3rd place finish here despite the dead last placing in the previous round. Able to be one hell of a performance to get themselves across the board and put themselves in this situation where they can even compete for next spot. Speaking of which, it is TM Opera O coming next year, who had a really strong performance in that final round, getting a 3rd place finish. Could have wished for more, of course, but against competition like that, it is very, very difficult. Opera has been able to get 3 3rd places in a row, has yet to win herself, but has been showing a lot of sparks on her own. Speaking of spark, Random Stamina Cross has been very, very middling in this later portions of this race, but still was able to secure, didn't have the best of success, in the last race, but still won in that 4th round. So hoping for more success coming out of it from Random. Next up here is Mejro Ardan, who had a very, very solid performance, getting 4th place in that very, very competitive one. In the end, next up here is Agnes Digital, the favorite of, honestly, for Agnes. Favorites in terms of performances here for Rugu Gachu. So far, Agnes Digital not been able to replicate her success in the previous campaigns. At least didn't have a good performance in that last see here. Didn't have the best of a performance in that last race. But still though, getting a 2nd place against Rammer, not to be trifled with, is Agnes Digital. As we now cross into the next race here, ladies and gentlemen. So hold on, I'm just checking something. Yeah, they get, okay, never mind. They get back-to-back 2nd places here. But again though, we're really wishing for a win here, ladies and gentlemen. But now that is all over with it. We shall now head into the final race here. Now, I will be talking about the conditions here. This is not exactly a must-win race. You just have to get 2nd to make it into the next round. And honestly, you're really gonna need it. This is going to be one hell of a competition here, ladies and gentlemen. is Rue, Crazy Dave, and Random here for the final 2 slots of the top 10. The top 9. And in our final race here, the Tokyo Turf 2,300 meter left-sided race, rainy condition, soft turf. Number 1 favorite here, Agnes Digital. Number 3 favorite is Opera O. Number 2 favorite here, Crazy Dave, the special week. Looking to have a much stronger performance coming into this next race because the previous round really showed weakness for once. And a late start here for Opera O, not exactly the best of things. So we have a very slow start across the board here for these Umumusme. So far, Metro Ardan taking first place here, but Ogri Cap looking to contest. So far so good as the corner is hit here for the first early race. Ladies and gentlemen, not a lot of skills being proc though. Very worrying situation. There's a swinging monster coming out here from Dijlan. So now we break into Ardan at the very front. Ogri Cap in second place. Special Week in third. Agnes Takion in fourth. Fifth place goes to Ice Shower. That's Opera really battling it down now. It pushes into the fourth place with a lot of skills coming through. And Right Shower really fighting down Agnes Takion, falling behind here. Actually gonna stall a bit of this Digiton spurt as we now hit the mid race. Crossed already, we're about to hit the second corner where things will be decided. Ladies and gentlemen, who will win here as Special Week has placed herself in the very front here. It might be a battle of pace chasers here, ladies and gentlemen. We shall see as we now hit the second corner who will proceed here, looking like a bit of a fallback here from the Special Week. As we now hit the last spurt, we shall see. I think it's Metro Ardan. It's Ogri Cap at the very front here, ladies and gentlemen, of the race. Here comes the Blue Rose to try and go for the push. Blue Rose closer here from the Right Shower. Really needs to aggress now. The rest of the Umumusme are really pushing through here, ladies and gentlemen. Can they get the heads up here? Special Week really pushing it at the corner. It is still, I think it's Ardan here. No, it's Ogri Cap to make it happen here. Ogri Cap will secure the win. It is such a close exchange, and unfortunately here for Crazy Dave, his run is over. Despite all things, will be the one to meet the axe here in the end. Very strong performance here from the Metro Ardan to secure Random's position here in the top 9 here, ladies and gentlemen. As we now get into this first place here is Ogri Cap, Rogu Kachu's Ogri Cap. What a strong performance here, coming up in such a big way despite not having any real success, right? But in this race, showing up in a big way to make a name for himself. Next up here is Metro Ardan, who really picked it up here in the last few races. Really making a big performance here to get Random into that 9th place finish here. Next up here is Agnes Digital, who will be 3rd place. Then it is the 3 aces here. 4th place goes to Special Week. 5th place goes to Right Shower. 6th place goes to Opera O. 7th place goes to Tamana Cross. 10th place goes to Tokai Teo. And now it is Agnes Takion here in the last place here. Congratulations to Rugu Gachu and Random for securing their spots in the top 9. Unfortunately here for Crazy Dave, it is elimination as we now move on into the playoff bracket. Anyways, that's gonna be it here, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much for watching our final day of round robin here. We will have one more day where we witness the playoff matches here for the Tengu Cup 2026 of March. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm your host, Presto Casa. Thank you for watching. I will see you tomorrow.